Hello, Tyler, and if anyone besides Tyler sees this video ever, I'll welcome you also to my presentation for the course one of the hospitality and tourism time with career presentation. So for this unit, for our final presentation, it's doing projects about some business in a foreign country. And I thought about doing 25. It's an idea of a Mexican gourmet restaurant in Tokyo, Japan. It's not like super gourmet. It's more like casual business kind of place, like kind of cactus club. So yeah, this is what I came with. So yeah, I'm gonna show you like which challenges I might face due to the cultural differences that we have between Western society and I don't know, the Japanese society, which is like Asian Western. I mean, it's an East, but culturally speaking. So well, anyway, um, moving on to the first slide, I'm gonna talk about a little bit about Japan business culture. So the business culture in Japan is ritualized. This means that whenever I want to do business with people in Japan, I have to honor the Japanese traditions. One of the Japanese traditions is to, whenever you are greeting someone in business, you don't extend your hand to shake it. You have to like bow to incline yourself in show of respect, and you know uh, probably the person is gonna do the same to you. So just in case that they offer the hand, which is rare but sometimes happens, just in that case you should like shake the hand. If not, you just stick to the little reverence they do. And yeah, the business in Japan are formal. So whenever you want to do business with someone, you're supposed to dress properly. You are supposed to use a suit with like neutral colors such as blue navy, um, like dark kind of suits of suits. Pardon. And whenever you first meet someone to make business with, they do this ritual in which you give, or each other gives their business card. You take a time to read the business card, and then um, start from there, and then start business. But you take that time to check the background of the person that you're about to deal with. And also the status means that well, uh, Japan, it's a Japan society is like a little bit like a hierarchy. So a lot of aspects in life have a role in the status you have. So maybe the age, maybe your position in the company, it's gonna affect the way you see or people see you. So Japanese people is used to like deal with their equals, not with people from a higher status or a lower status. So they feel more comfortable with. Um, yeah, moving on. One of the important things about Japanese culture is that you have to make some contacts. Japan is a relationship-oriented culture, and when it comes to doing business, the Japanese wants to trust someone. They still have this culture of sticking to your word. Of course, if you want sign a deal, you can sign it, but they do value the honesty and the honor. and the ability for you to keep your word. So it is common, so when you're doing business or after you're doing business, um, that you take your business partners to dinners and have a meal, have some drinks, and just get to know each other, because they don't they want to see you as a person. um so yeah, moving on, those are like, I mean, I'm focusing in these aspects because I think that they are different from the way that people do business in Western society. Maybe in Western society, business are more like to the point, more fast. They don't care about much who you are. Maybe sometimes they just wanna make money quick. But people in Japan have intent to like make longer business or business relationships. Now, regarding the my business proposal, is since I'm trying to open a restaurant, let's talk about restaurant etiquette. First of all, the culture shock. The culture shock. Well, for example, I remember the first time I went to a Japanese restaurant. They had these like chopsticks with which you were supposed to eat the sushi and stuff. So for me, that was a cultural shock at the beginning. I was like, how do people manage to eat like this? Well, it's gonna be the same in. I don't think Japanese people are used to eating with the hands, but a lot of Mexican food is eating with hands, especially tacos and I don't know, nachos. So maybe this will be a culture shock for them. So anyway, if we are open to try different ways, maybe Japanese people is gonna try different ways as well. Also, a lot of Mexican dishes you can eat them just with a fork and a knife. So yeah, I mean, we'll try to figure that out. And one of the things in the restaurant etiquette in Japan is they have the professionalism in service. This means that sometimes in Western culture, when someone is serving you and you try to be friendly, and people will be friendly back, like this is not the case in Japan. Sometimes they try to do their job in a professional way. So sometimes if you ask personal questions to the server, I mean, in Western societies would be okay. I mean, maybe you are showing interest, but in Japan this would be seen as weird, and yeah, it's just not part of the restaurant etiquette on Japan. So they stick. I mean, they are effective and they just focus on giving you a professional service. Uniforms. One part of the Japanese culture is like everybody to use a uniform. The restaurant is not an exception. So I'm gonna have uniforms from both front of house and back of house. Personnel. I mean, lots of nice restaurants here in Mexico still have like, sorry, not in Mexico, in Western societies have these dress code, but they are not necessarily uniforms. And well, we will provide the uniforms for the employees. And tipping is not a thing they are used to do in Japan. So having that in mind, I have to give, of course, we have to give as a company competitive competitive wages to our servers and to our kitchen staff, but also they have this culture of anyone can help. So if there's no tipping, there's no such thing that this is your server and he or she is going to serve you. So like when you're eating, you see whichever employee that is near to you, you can ask them whatever you need, and they will solve the problem for you. That's one of the difference between Japan and Western cultures, that you are most of the time just like you can just ask stuff to your server, and if you ask stuff to someone that is not your server, probably they're gonna send your server. So yeah, because of the tip, and since here they don't have tips, maybe you don't have to. Well, not maybe, you actually don't have to like just ask to your server. The the Japanese work environment. Well, Japanese people are used to work hard. There's this thing called karoshi, which means like died from work. Like sometimes, some cases in Japan, people work so hard that they end up dying. So I don't want that to happen in my restaurant. So even though we're gonna be part of the culture of like work hard kind of culture, we're going to try to give as much leave time to our employees as they need, because I mean that is a cultural difference between for example, Canada and Japan, but uh, we're trying to like sort things out so people don't die when they are working for us, because we want our employees to be happy. Also, Japanese workplaces are focused on the group, so it's a it's like in the military, it's a chain of command. So just whenever someone wants to make a decision, they are used to ask to the boss or to whoever that is the supervisor the authorization to make that decision. That is how Japanese people like make the decision making, which is fine. We have to have this in mind, because maybe sometimes in Western societies that it's like going all the way through the chain of command, maybe be like considered like a waste of time. But we're gonna stick to the Japanese culture and we're gonna follow that. And loyalty is important, because Japanese people usually work in the same place for a really long time. It's not the same as the Western societies, in which they tend to change job frequently. And these 2 points have to do with the collectivism. Japanese culture is a collectivistic culture, so they are not focused on individuals, but in everybody as a team or as a whole. So to make things work out in the restaurant I want to open, we will have the meetings with landlords or maybe possible business partners, sticking to the bowing, to the exchanging the business card, to inviting them to have drinks, to have some dinner, and respecting every Japanese tradition. We're gonna have job interviews. Uh, of course, we're gonna we have in mind that most people will want to stay with us for a while, so that is good news for us. Sorry, because we cut costs. And advertising, we have to advertise the place. At the beginning, I thought about advertising the restaurant, such like the funny Japanese TV commercials. There's like super colorful and stuff. But then I did some research, and they don't. These kind of places, they don't advertise them like that. It's just like regular Western advertising, in which they tease you with spaces, with experience, and with the food. So I'm gonna stick to that. And well, at the end, if everything goes well, I'm gonna have a taste of the success of opening a company in a foreign country. So, well, that's pretty much it. Um, Honestly, doing this research, I found a lot of differences between Western culture and Japanese culture. Well, business culture, specifically talking. Um, they do are more. They see themselves as a team. They work as a team. They are more um, collectivists. So I think that this is good in a sense. Some of the reasons I think I just told them along the presentation. So I hope this presentation reflects the Japanese culture and the differences between the business model and or the Western's business model. Thank you for your time and have a nice evening.